to the cloud. Okay, we're ready to go, everybody. How are we all?
Really good, thanks.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Sam, for replying to me. This is our first meeting of Epiphany term. It is also the first exec election one, and we're also all in wigs. So we're actually all just having a great time. That's what's going on here. I hope that everyone is here. I haven't properly checked through everybody, and I really also hope that we don't get Zoom bombed. But I don't think we will, because I think we've checked basically everyone coming in. Can I get approval of the minutes of last meeting with a general aye, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Absolutely. Oh no, no. Can we do it again? Can I get an approval of minutes with a general wig, please?
Aye.
Thank you. These are our procedural motions, which I'm going to skip over. So we're going to do officer reports now, and I typed in Amazon. I went on Amazon and I typed in wigs, and so these are the exec members as wigs. So this is me. This is very much me in secondary school, because I like to be a bit of an emo, and I'm actually trying again. I'm started wearing black earrings. So what have I been doing? I've been working on this meeting and trying to find candidates for the exec elections and trying to make sure that everything runs okay, which it hopefully will. And I've also been making wig stuff. So there we go. So we have Chris. Perfect wig for you there, Chris.
Perfect, yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't been up too much. I'm hoping to get some interactive online content out for everybody, and hoping to get looking at some new menu options for if we finally get the go-ahead to open back up some point before the end of the year. Something exciting for everybody to eat. But that's me.
Stunning, Chris. Thank you. And yeah, we'll keep them as brief as that, please, everybody. Emily Dewar, also known as Meredith from Brave.
Very good, Jake.
Meredith. I've never seen the film.
It is Meredith. I haven't been up to much either with the bar being closed, but lucky me, I get to go into the actual bar building on Friday for Winter Ball, so looking forward to that. And I want the bar to reopen so I can start making slushes for you all, because that was my next move. But a massive good luck to Lucy tonight running for bar steward and the other exec candidates. You'll be great.
Stunning. Thank you very much. Shireen, I don't know why I chose this one, but I like the dead look in her eyes.
Me. So I'm just trying to promote all of your societies as much as possible. We still have 4 or 5 ongoing, so if you're bored, get on and join them. Other things I've been doing is Bookstock is new and will be running shortly, so if you want to get involved in that, get in touch with me. Also, we've just been fixing bikes and the logistics of that and how to sort it out. That's all.
Thank you very much. Piers? I think this is actually a photo of Piers. But...
yeah, I look very professional there. I think I look stunning. So, can't lie, not a great time for sport, not being great yet. But Seb and Matt did an absolutely fantastic circuit session yesterday on Zoom, which was really, really good. So circuits has been one of the sports that can still happen on Zoom. So I really recommend joining their Facebook page or their Teams page and get involved with what they're doing. I'm also planning more online activities for the rest of the term. Team Durham are starting a Strava competition from next Monday, so I'll get Butler into that and hopefully we'll do quite well in the college leagues. And then finally, I'm hoping for the next election someone will run for the role of sports officer, and if anyone has any questions, just let me know, and good luck to everyone running tonight.
Lovely, thank you, Piers. Orla? I feel like it looks a bit like you, that one.
Thanks for that. That's incredible.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So Socialcom and I have been coming up with sort of some ideas for online events and competitions and things for the formals that we would have had coming up this term to sort of celebrate them in another way. So the next one coming up is halfway formal. So everyone but like second years especially, keep an eye out for stuff for that. And what's my wish? I would like to, I'm hoping to finally get a Socialcom Instagram set up to have a bit more content, a bit more interaction online, and hopefully have something nice to pass on to the next social chair. So good luck to the girls tonight with that.
Yeah, we've needed that for a while. Didn't someone forget the password? Lily? Oh, I've gone too far. Lily?
God, where'd you get that photo, Jake?
Your Instagram.
I've been doing winter ball publicity for Hannah. And I've also been finalising the individual matriculation photos to send out to freshers, and the last lot of those will be going out tomorrow. And good luck to the summer ball candidates running this evening. I hope me and Orla can offer a hand if you need it. Of course, we don't actually have much experience with the actual summer ball, but we did some prep work.
Lovely, thank you, Lily. And now we're on to the king himself. It is Sean. Sean.
Sorry, I was muted. So
yeah, I thought you might have been.
We're planning for International Week, and this is the last day of International Week. And our last event will be after this meeting at 8 p.m. with Baking Sock. So hopefully we'll see you there. And then we are starting to plan for Chinese New Year. Yeah, that's basically a short story of it.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Sean. And we're on to Emily and Brad. I got the wrong shade of your hair, Brad. I really tried.
I mean, realistically, you're not going to get the right shade. It changes too often. Anyway, so yeah, 2 stars the wish. We've had self-care week. That's the first campaign week of the term. Gone fantastically well. The online engagement with the Instagram takeovers has been amazing. I think we've really streamlined that process of online campaigns. Then we've got LGBT week, which is well in the works of like planning, and it's going to look fantastic. The one wish that we've got is before the end of the term, we want to have updated the supplies situation, so we have a new form that's a little bit more streamlined, and it's a lot easier, and it'll be a lot easier to get welfare supplies when you're living in college. So that's it from us.
Okay, thank you. Lewis sends his apologies, but his main job has been doing budget reviews. All has gone well. Having to wait until later to make some decisions about funding though, but not a big deal. Thank you to everyone who helped submit a budget review. Thank you, Lewis. Ellie, couldn't not do this one. I couldn't not. The most iconic thing you've ever done.
No, it actually is my impact.
Yeah.
So there is still lots of committee meetings being held online every week, and it's not too late to join if you would like to. So if you want to find out more information, please check the website or drop me a message. And hopefully we're going to have lots of online events this term. Charity Com are hosting a Valentine's Day Mr. and Mrs. Butler. So, you know, if you fancy meeting the love of your life, get on down to the JCR page and sign up and get involved with that. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, we're all feeling lonely at the moment, aren't we? Christ. I think somebody needs to mute. Darcy?
Oh, hello. I love that you think my hair looks like that.
No, it was just when you dressed up as Carol Baskin. I just typed in Carol Baskin wig, yeah. Sorry. I don't think your hair looks like that.
Oh dear. Well, anyways, what I've been doing is running Family Fortunes, which has been really fun so far, and it's been really nice chatting to everyone that's got involved. So I'll just be carrying on with that nice little tournament, as well as dealing with everyone's debts and making sure they're getting paid. Fun stuff. Yeah, good luck to everyone tonight.
Cheers, Darcy. Now we're on to Sam. Couldn't do anything but a mullet, could I?
I can't wait for my hair to look like that. Fingers crossed for that to happen. Well, so while Darcy's been focusing on the kind of wider Family Fortunes virtual realm, I've been here in Durham thinking about the facilities and stuff at college, trying to get as many spaces open so people can fulfill their academic requirements and as well look out for their mental health and physical well-being. And you know, looking at some volunteering projects as well, so we can continue some of our kind of in-person things. The second thing is that I've been working on a lot of kind of in the background, quite, because not as much is happening at the moment, focusing on some kind of more policy-based stuff. There's a mixture of discussion about harm reduction for drug use, which is kind of a cross common room initiative, and also looking at the SLA, which is the agreement which may be between us and the university if we become a charitable organisation. You may have heard us talking a bit about independence in the past. Darcy and I have had a chat about this, and we're kind of reimagining that as talking more about transitioning to an alternative governance, a charitable organisation rather than independence itself, as we kind of learn more about it. So that's that. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Sam. That was great. Really brief, everyone. Thank you very much. Question of officers. Anyone want to ask us anything about anything? Chill. Matters arising, I don't have any. And we do have one motion I'm going to do today that I have had some others submitted, but I'm going to do them in the next meeting just so we could have more time to look over them. Davina, would you like to present this motion to us, please?
Hi all. Okay, so the JCR notes that the title person of colour rep is not inclusive of ethnic minorities who may not necessarily be a person of colour while still being a minority. And this JCR believes that the term person of colour is outdated and should not be used as an umbrella term for all ethnic minorities, and that the new title should be inclusive of all ethnic minority groups. Therefore, this JCR resolves that the person of colour rep should be changed to ethnic minorities rep.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about this? I'd love to have at least one, please. Okay, there's no questions about that. I'm going to put that one online just so that everyone can have a good look at it, if that's okay with everyone. Thank you very much, Davina, and we'll pop now onto the main event. And obviously the main event is Yearbook Editor. Would anybody like to run for Yearbook Editor in this meeting? Just pop a message in the chat if you want to. Oh God, so many messages, brilliant. No, we'll roll that one over. It's one of the ones that does like to roll over quite a few times, which is it is a shame, but let's go on to the next one. Put the talks chairs. Anyone want to do that? Oh wait, no, I do have a message. Is somebody actually messaged?
Sorry, that was me.
Wig. Anybody want to go for Butler Talks chair? It could be a really fun thing to do over Zoom. We give some talks. Some people could sing a song. No. Okay, I do have some interest in summer ball chairs. Please, could you speak up if you would like to run for summer ball?
Oh. Hi.
Hello. Would you like to give your host, you two, and anybody else who wants to run for it, please just pop me a message.
Okay.
But you can go now.
Hi everyone, we're Lucy and Maddie, and we would love to be your summer ball chairs this year. I've been heavily involved in social comms since I was a fresher, and I'm currently one of the assistant social chairs. I've also been a member of the Winter Ball, Spring Charity Gala and Summer Ball committees over the past year, so hopefully this has helped to give me a good understanding of events within college. I was also the decorations lead for last year's Summer Ball, however obviously this wasn't carried out as planned, but hopefully if we were to become Summer Ball chairs we can make use of previous contacts and experience.
So as Lucy mentioned, my name is Maddie, and over the last year and a half, I've loved getting involved with college through sports, societies and committees, including this year's Winter Ball Committee. I hold several exec positions both within college and the wider university that have given me a great experience of leadership through these difficult times. Alongside Lucy, as a freshers rep this year, we absolutely fell in love with planning college events and getting involved as much as possible. We'd love to carry this enthusiasm through to Summer Ball and give you all something to look forward to after the unusual year we've had.
Obviously this year has been stranger than any other, and everyone has faced so many unexpected challenges, although as a college we've been able to adapt really well and overcome any difficulties we've faced. Therefore, as Summer Ball chairs, we would be determined to host a Summer Ball like no other to really make up for lost time and give everyone the full Butler experience that we've all been craving for so long. Of course, it's too early and difficult to know exactly what the situation will be come June. However, fingers crossed things will be more optimistic than they currently are, and as chairs we would ensure that we have plans A, B and C for every eventuality, and we know a core part of our role will be contingency planning, and this is something we're keen to tackle head on.
We want to make the event as inclusive as possible, and we've been considering several strategies to help us achieve this. This includes the possibility of holding the event over 2 days, as was originally planned for this year's Winter Ball. This will give everyone the opportunity to attend the ball if they'd like to. We'd also consider exploring different venue options to give us the best possible chance of the event going ahead as planned. We'd love to work closely with the chairs of previous college events, particularly those whose events could not happen in person, and we'd aim to form a large committee to get as many people involved in sharing ideas as possible.
In terms of our theme, we have an idea in mind that we're really excited about and think you'll all love. However, since we want to give everyone something to look forward to, we've decided not to reveal the theme just yet and keep you guys guessing a bit longer. Rest assured though, the theme is really fun and upbeat and one that can be easily adapted to fit whatever situation we're faced with.
We're really excited to be running for Summer Ball chairs together, and we really hope that we can give you all something to look forward to over the coming months. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Please, could I get some questions for Lucy and Maddie? You can just unmute and say your question.
If the event has to be online, how will you make it different from every other online event Butler has had this year?
So I think to make it online, obviously it's something that everyone's a bit more used to now, but I think we would really work to try and maybe get other areas of college involved, so different societies, different committees, to see if we can come up with some creative projects with them, and obviously different ways we can use online.
Lovely. Any more questions? I'm also just going to stop my share so that we can see each other. Sam, did you have a question? Do you want to unmute yourself, Sam? That'd be nice.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I was going to ask, how will your event be in keeping with Butler JCR's?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? It cut out a little bit.
I think that last one was values.
Yeah, it was. It was values.
So obviously a big part of Butler is our community and the getting involved spirit. So like Lucy said, working with different sports, societies, committees, and make it a whole college thing rather than it just being decided by one committee. Also our values being a green college, we'd like, if it is in person, reuse as many decks as possible from previous balls, make things as reusable as possible, and yeah, just tie into being a very green college.
Lovely. Any other questions, or are we okay to move on? I think we look pretty good there. So thank you very much. That election will obviously, like all of the others, be going online. And we are going to move on now to Bar Steward. So I think we might have one candidate for Bar Steward. Not quite sure if we've heard her voice a bit too much already. But Lucy, would you like to... That was a joke. That was a joke. Lucy, would you like to begin your host for Bar Steward?
Okay, so hi everyone, me again. I'm Lucy. I'm a second year business and management student, and I would love to be your next Bar Steward. For me, the best thing about JB's is that it's the very central hub of college where anyone can come, whether they want to relax, work, socialise, or even just see some friendly faces. We're so lucky that our college bar is a versatile and welcoming environment that people can always enjoy spending time in, and this is something I'd love to continue to develop if I was fortunate enough to be elected as Bar Steward. So in terms of a bit of background about me, I'm currently a supervisor at JB's, having worked there since my first year. I'm also the current assistant bar steward, and despite not being able to carry out this role to its full potential, given the current situation, it's a role that I've loved taking on and have enjoyed so far. And therefore I've been able to see the perspectives of the bar from both customer and staff perspective. I also have some bar experience outside of uni, having lived in a pub for 16 years, as well as working in an event bar company for the last few years. So hopefully this has given me a strong understanding behind the logistics of running a bar, as well as given me some ideas I can hopefully bring to JB's. Although it's probably quite boring as well, I've done my personal license holders qualifications, so I understand the legal logistics as well. In terms of my ideas for JB's, if I were to become bar steward, I really want to focus on making up for lost time and further integrating the bar across all aspects of college. Everyone has missed out on so much this past year, and unfortunately this year's freshers in particular haven't necessarily been able to see JB's full potential and come to know and love it as much as the rest of us do. However, the events that were organised and put on last term were still a huge success, and the JB's team did an amazing effort given how many restrictions and challenges they were faced with. And therefore, having spoken with the current bar steward, catering and bar services manager and college principal, we've all agreed that next year more emphasis than ever will be put on returners and getting them along with next year's freshers to have a true JB's experience and enjoy JB's as much as possible. I'm really keen to increase the number of events hosted within the bar, including gin tasting, cocktail making, and open mic or karaoke nights, as I think this would be great and hopefully a fun way to get people to come to JB's. Within events like these, we could also do collaborations with different societies, committees, and sports to organise themed events such as darts night, pride night, charity karaoke, and hopefully we can organise ends for these events similar to after formals. Looking after the JB's team is also an important part of the bar steward role, and as a member of staff I've always appreciated the support I've been given from the bar steward, and therefore I'd love to organise staff socials and events for the team to help everyone get to know each other more outside of work. I'd also like to get the staff more involved in the JCR side of the bar, and I think it would be nice to start drink of the week recommendations which can come from both JB staff and other people in college, and this would be a good way to promote a range of both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks and give people a full overview of everything that we offer. I'm also keen to continuously gain feedback from staff and customers, so I'd like to create an anonymous feedback form that's accessible via the JCR website and Facebook page so that people can always share their ideas with us. And I think it could also be fun to try and incorporate a way for people to share music requests, as I know this is something people always ask for in the bar, and I think it could be nice to create the ultimate JB's playlist as a college. I think greater involvement from the college, maybe through competitions, could be nice, so maybe creating a new college drink. but ultimately it's just about getting the college involved as much as possible. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to run for Bar Steward for the upcoming year, and if I'm fortunate to get the role, I'd aim to continue making JBs everyone's favourite place and hopefully give everyone in college the full Butler experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Brilliant. Do we have any questions from anybody?
Me.
Probably Jura. Yeah, Emily?
Yeah. Hi, Lucy. What do you think you could do to make the team work better together, especially between the bar staff and the other side, so the kitchen and coffee shop staff?
Okay, so I would work to, obviously, hopefully with the food services officer, work closely with them to integrate the two sides of JBs. And I think doing things like staff socials and making sure the staff know that myself and the food service officer are a main point of contact. And I think, yeah, events and things and just integrating the team across the sides, outside of work, just as much inside of work. So getting people to work with different people each shift, things like that will hopefully help the team integrate together.
Lovely. Any more questions? Just pop it in the chat if you do, because I can't obviously see everyone, but I think that might be all, unless there's one from Sam or Darcy or anyone. No, should we move on? Lovely. Thank you very much, Lucy.
Thank you.
That election will be Lucy versus Ron, and that'll be put online. So thank you very much. We're going to go on to, social chair now. So we've got Georgia and Ellie. Which one of you would like to go first? It's always an awkward question. First one to raise the hand is going first. Okay, I'm just going to throw Ellie into a breakout room. Have I put you into it, Ellie? Okay, no, I've done it. Okay, just click on that for me, Ellie. I think she's gone. Georgia, do you want to start hosting?
Yeah, I can do.
Thank you very much.
Great. Hi, everyone.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hi, I'm Georgia. I'm a second year politics student here at Butler, and I'd love to be your social chair next year. I've had the best time being part of social plan these past 2 years, setting up nearly every formal as well as the reformers lunches this year. So I'd love to be able to have the opportunity not only to continue doing this, but also to lead the committee, choose the themes and design the formals, as well as organising lots of other events throughout the year. I'd love to continue the work that we've done towards making social com more environmentally friendly by reusing decorations and giving them a new life, whilst also having loads of different themes and things that we've never seen before. I'd also like to put out a survey to ask people what they want from social events at college, especially formals, and what might stop them from coming in order to make them more accessible for people. I've got a few ideas for different formal themes as well as events throughout the year. So for formals, I'd love to do a big nostalgic birthday party formal. We can all celebrate the birthdays that we've missed over the past year and have lots of kids' birthday party decorations and have our inner child come out, as well as lots of fun entertainment. I've also got other formal ideas, such as a Mad Hatter's tea party, where you can come in a wacky hat as well as your formal wear, a circus theme with some really cool entertainment, and as well as an astrology theme. So whether you believe in star signs or not, you can embody it for the night and have some fun. And so in terms of other events, if we're still in the circumstances where we need to run them online, I'd love to run like an online college bar crawl, where there's different drink recipes for like mocktails and cocktails throughout, and different games at every college. I think it'd be really nice, especially for the freshers, to sort of learn a bit more about the different colleges and see them virtually, even if they can't in person, as they haven't been able to this year. I think it'd also be nice to do more trips. So like the beach trips that were organised for last year can go ahead, and other like local landmarks as well, so we can see the surrounding areas of Durham and not just live in the Durham bubble. And I'd also like to put on the Edinburgh Christmas market trips again, which I absolutely loved last year, as well as maybe doing another one to somewhere such as York, because it's a bit closer and might make it easier for people who are busy and can't spend the whole day going all the way to Edinburgh or something like that. And I'd also like to put on regular coaches to Newcastle for nights out, so that people feel safe going out if they can go out, and so if you feel safe getting back to Durham. In terms of my skills and experience, I've had a lot of experience managing a committee, organising events and liaising with companies, as well as managing a budget this year in my role as president of the 93% Club. So I feel that the skills that I've gained from this year would be really applicable to the role of social chair, and that I'd be able to ensure that every event runs smoothly. I've been managing multiple society exec roles, both in college and in the wider university. So I've really learned how to manage my time and make sure that every role gets the time that it deserves. And I also think I can get things done quickly and efficiently, like planning the food and budgeting for that in Freshers Week, where we had a great spreadsheet and a lot of lasagnas. So yeah, I've genuinely loved being part of Social Com this year. It's one of my favourite parts of my time at uni so far, and I'd be honoured to put on a great range of events for everyone next year, taking on whatever may come at us to make sure that the Butler community can still come together and have a great time. Thanks.
Lovely, thank you very much. I will just bring Ellie out. Please, can you come up straight away? Is she out? Doesn't look like she's out yet. Just delete the room. Okay. And then I'm just going to add a room, and I'm going to put you straight into it. Okay, Ellie?
Hello.
Would you like to begin your host, please?
Of course. Hi, I'm. Oops,
Go.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm a second year liberal arts student. I've been heavily involved in social comms since starting at Butler. You know, kind of really like blowing up balloons, blowing out wine glasses. You know, something about watching the Howlands go from, you know, big PE hall kind of vibes to really nice rooms. It's a really nice feeling. I'm currently one of 4 assistant social chairs, and so as a part of this role this year, I've been able to continue to partake in social comm with reformers lunches and discussing other ideas of things we can do online this year. So as well as being a part of social comm, I've been involved in college in many other ways. I was a part of Winter Ball Committee this year and Summer Ball Committee last year. So despite these events both being moved online, I was still involved in the process of like developing themes, discussing ideas, and I like searching for decorations. And it's given me insight into planning like large scale social events. So like I feel like that'd be quite useful for the role of social chair. I was also a FREP, so like, you know, I've really been taught about commitment to a role, time management, and carrying out like events in a COVID secure manner, because obviously all the FREP events are in person, all that. I'm really good at communicating. I'm really organised. You know, I have really good leadership, delegation skills, and I think those are all really essential to being a social chair. In regard to ideas, I think bar events are a really good idea for the upcoming year. So the current bar steward, like earlier this year, there were quite a few bar nights, and I think they went down really well. And I want to, you know, carry these on, develop them even further. Because formals are really great and all, but I don't think that everyone's cup of tea. So it's just a way for like more different types of people to get involved in events about like in like a more casual, light-hearted way. And then trips. So obviously I want to carry on the tradition of the Edinburgh Christmas Market trip as long as like COVID allows, obviously. And I think it'd be good to put on like some more trips to other cities like York or like a trip to the beach. And I think it's one of those things where like, you know, you just want to escape the stress of uni, you want to escape the Durham bubble. And if it's being planned by college and you just have to like get on the coach and go, like it's a lot easier than having to plan it all out yourself. I also want to extend the support of social comm. So like previous social chairs have always like extended support for social comm to other committees and societies. And I want to continue doing this. You know, I want social comm to be the heart of every college event, whether that's helping to set up a ball or a charity event or like an online COVID event, you know, all the events. In regard like themes, I want to do formals this year. So I want to, you know, have new themes, you know, spice it all up. But also, you know, want to save the planet and save a bit of money, recycle some decorations. So I want to do like a heroes versus villain theme for Halloween, Secret Garden theme, Broadway, Masquerade, and yeah, so then just in like to do with COVID. So hopefully like that's gonna disappear soon. But if not, you know, I want to ensure that social comm is still at the heart of events. If that's online, I want to, you know, adapt to make formals COVID secure or alternatives like the reformers lunches. Just want to do everything we can to keep like social life at Butler going. Yeah, that's everything.
Brilliant. I'll just bring George out of that room. just wait for her to come back to there. Okay. Are you back, Georgia?
Yeah, I'm here.
Lovely. Can we get a question from somebody, please?
Yeah, can I go?
Yeah, of course you can, Ola.
So obviously, unfortunately, with no formals happening this year in person, we've got an entire year of freshers that haven't had a formal experience. So if and when they're able to come back, the events that we know and love, how would you get our first years excited about this sort of Butler tradition that they don't know anything about yet?
Can we go to Georgia, please?
Yeah, I think it'd be really exciting. Like you talked about having the Instagram, it'd be really exciting if we could have people like come on to talk about formals that they've been to and what they enjoyed about it. And also like the sort of things that come along with a formal, because it can be a bit daunting if you don't know the rules and things like that. So you can really make it easy and accessible for them, and also just get them really excited through talking about all the fun we've had in the past.
Okay, Ellie?
Yes, I think, you know, sharing pictures and videos from past formals, whether like getting people to send them in or just like posting my own. But like, I feel like it's not going to take that much work to get people excited, because I feel like the freshers are like raring to go to formals. And so I think it's just sort of like easing them in, sort of posting like little reminders about the rules and like some of the photos, just so like they have some idea of what they're going into, so they don't go in blind. But I think it'll be pretty easy to get everyone excited.
Good. Does anybody else have any more questions? You can ask another one, Ola, if you want.
I'll ask one if you want.
Go on, Sam. Go on.
Aside from reusing decorations, how else do you think you can make formals more environmentally friendly?
Ellie?
I think it's one of those things of instead of ordering decorations off Amazon or another website, maybe just, you know, looking what we have in town, seeing what else we can upcycle, buying secondhand, just small things like that, because, you know, the shipping costs and all the planes and delivery vans, it makes a big impact. So just being able to shop locally, shop secondhand, I think would help to reduce waste and help the planet.
Georgia?
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool to sort of use a formal or a theme like that to make people more aware of how they can be more environmentally friendly and what we're doing as a college. So whether that's through a theme or like having some kind of social where you have to come in an outfit, or like you do something where it's like reusing things as well, just to raise awareness, maybe through like the stuff we put in the booklets and things like that.
Are we okay to wrap this one up unless anybody else has got any more questions? Looks like
I've got one if you want one.
Go on, Darcy. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
In previous years, it's been a bit of a struggle with having limited capacity for formals, and sign-ups always been a bit not necessarily contentious, but with first come first served, and some people don't get on, and some people sign up a friend and then but their friend already signed them up. I just wondered if you had any ideas for making that less of an issue or making sign-ups run more smoothly.
Georgia?
I think it'd be really nice to make it not necessarily first come first serve, but go back to, I think, an older system we have where if you haven't been to a formal before, you sort of get more priority to make sure that everyone has the ability to, because if you're not available at the time that sign up is, maybe making sign up at a more accessible time, so you're not doing it in the middle of a lecture or anything. Yeah, so just to make sure that everyone gets the chance to go rather than it just being first come first serve.
And then to Ellie, please.
Yes, I think one thing is like, you know, really publicizing when sign up is going to be, so people like, you know, they're not caught off guard, they don't forget when sign up's going to be. I think it's hard to sort of find a fairer system than first come first serve, because you could do a raffle one, but then again it's just luck of the cards. So I think it's just about ensuring that everyone has equal opportunity to sign up quickly and to know the time to sign up.
Okay, brilliant. I think we'll stop there with the questions for that one. Well done to you both. That's going to be Georgia versus Ellie versus Ron for that, and it's going to go online. We're going to go over to JCR Chair now. I'm going to get Camille to go first. I'm going to put Joe into a breakout room, if that's okay, Joe.
All good.
Lovely. Just like, let me find your name. There you are. Okay. Just pop into that room, Joe, and Camille, you're welcome to start.
One moment. Sorry, am I audible?
Yeah.
Cool. Good evening, Butler. My name is Camille. I'm a third-year computer scientist, and it is my pleasure and my privilege to be running for JCR Chair. Keen-eyed viewers and long-time Camille fans might notice this is actually my second time running for chair. While a lot's changed since January 2020, I'm sure we all miss the electricity of a good hustings in the Butler bar. What's stayed the same is my love of Butler and my commitment to student democracy, representation, and leadership. As your JCR Vice Chair for the last 2 years, I've been at the beating heart of Butler democracy, making sure meetings run well, candidates know campaigning rules, motions are in order, minutes are up to scratch, and so on. Having worked closely with 2 JCR chairs, I have an intimate knowledge of the responsibilities, demands, and quirks of this role. Both of my bosses brought different skills to the office. From them, I've learned both how to focus on airtight procedure and governance, and how to efficiently preside over meetings and engage an audience. I'll bring the best of both worlds to Democracy Committee and lead my team of vice chairs in the best possible way. I'll know how because I've been one for a while. Apart from my time on DemCom, since March 2020, I've been the JCR Policy Officer, working towards setting up a joint JCR-MCR charity to enable us to more effectively provide a wider student experience to all Butlerites. This has involved a lot of research and negotiations with stakeholders and regular meetings to discuss progress with the working group. I've also been a Head Open Day rep, twice a FREP. I'm currently an active member of Butler and TechCom, and I've dabbled in many other student groups. I've got a good knowledge of everything that goes on in college, and I'll be able to effectively advise anyone who wants to know how they can get more involved with our JCR. Outside of Butler, I've also been the student co-chair of my department's Staff Student Consultative Committee, running proceedings alongside the staff co-chair. Communicating with fellow students is something I'm proficient at and quite proud of, and a skill I will leverage as chair by increasing DemCom outreach. Given my experience, you can trust me to competently and efficiently execute all the basic responsibilities of this office. But I hope my plans and pledges, my agenda for improving Butler democracy, will convince you that I'm the right chap for the job. Firstly, I will focus my time in office on increasing awareness of JCR democracy. The power each of us has to effect change in our immediate community is immense, and I'll make sure JCR members, old and new, are informed of this agency. I'll do this through a planned out publicity strategy and increased presence in materials like the Freshers Handbook, as well as improving the visibility of DemCom and our activities on the JCR website and social media. To facilitate engagement with our democratic process, I will review our election rules, asking JCR members what you think works about campaigning and voting regulations, what stops you from or encourages you to participate, and what you'd like to see done differently, if anything. For example, we could allow candidates to use social media posts if they're vetted by DemCom first, or change what content we upload to the duo voting system. There's considerable scope for change here, a great opportunity to improve the fairness and accessibility of our system for years to come. Some shorter term goals of mine include increasing the quantity, quality, and ease of access of written materials and guides, working with TechCom to improve the technological aspect of JCR meetings, for example, high quality live streams, and assisting student groups with all of their democratic needs, especially committees who must now elect officers internally. Finally, and this is an issue I've become quite sensitive to over the last year of being confined to my room, I want to take the role of JCR chair literally and make sure we're all thinking about what we're sitting on. Ergonomics is important in preventing a variety of back problems. I'd love to collaborate with welfare to run a healthy seating awareness day and work with both JCR and college to make sure any new seating we procure is high quality and good value. In summary, I believe that my recipe, equal parts experience, ambition, and let's face it, pure nerdiness, is the perfect cocktail to refresh Butler democracy, to make it more engaging, healthier, and more efficient. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for listening to me, and I hope I can count on your support.
Thank you very much, Camille. I'm just going to close those rooms. Also, please, can we not put anything in the chat while people are hosting? It's just a bit distracting. Just wait for Joe to come out. Come on, Joe. For the next election, if I put you in a breakout room and it tells you to come out, just come out straight away. Joe, you here? Oh no, it's gonna like count down. He's gonna stay in for the whole time. I was in a lecture once and they put us into breakout rooms. And we all just were in the breakout room and nobody had a camera on and nobody spoke. And then he got complained to because we just kept doing that. Joe, are you back now? Joe?
Hello.
You are here. Just one second. I'm just going to throw Camille into. Ooh. just going to put Camille into a breakout room. Okay, Camille, just jump into that. Thank you. Joe, do you want to start on your HUS now?
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe. I'm running to be JCR Chair. I do PPE. I'm from London. Okay, cool. So basically, with JCR Chair, I think what's key is that it's both a very social and very technical role. As such, I feel like anyone who wants to carry out the role needs to have relevant experience in both of these areas. So in terms of technical roles, I'm currently the Butler DSU rep and also the treasurer for Durham University Jewish Society, which means that I have experience attending meetings, both assembly and SU rep meetings, spreading announcements on social media, using spreadsheets to sort of do budgets and stuff. And I feel like these roles are very, very necessary for JCR Chair, you know, in their capacity of leading and running meetings, making announcements online, making sure everything's in order within the JCR. In terms of the social side of the role, I'm currently the social sec for the best sports team in Butler, the Butler B Darts team. And although this year has been somewhat limited in terms of socials, we have had some online, such as our recent World Championship final social, if any of you were there. So I have experience there. And then I think what's key as JCR Chair is combining the two aspects of social and technical. And I feel that in my role as head rep earlier this year, I very much had to do that. So obviously as head rep, there's a very heavy technical side, you know, hosting meetings, making rotas, doing budgets, risk assessments, arranging interviews. And on the other side, there is, you know, the obvious social aspect, you know, meeting freshers, getting them involved in the JCR life, communicating with reps. So as such, I feel that when it comes to relative experience, in order to be JCR Chair, I have this under my belt already, and I'd use what I've learned already in my amazing time at Butler to take this forward. Now, in terms of ideas, if you've seen my poster, you'll see that I've sort of broken it down into 3 key areas: involvement, transparency, and normality. So to go through them one at a time, involvement, I feel that whilst the JCR is very lovely, I feel that at times it can feel a bit cliquey to some. And in order to get over this perceived cliqueiness, getting more and more people involved is the main answer. I think one way we can do this is to incentivize attending meetings. Firstly, have prizes for attendance. So it could be a raffle. So you get a ticket when you come to the meeting at the start, and at the end, if you're still there, the raffles will be picked out and then someone will win. And that will incentivize someone to stay throughout the whole meeting. And secondly, I feel like if they're in person as well, as we're doing now with the wigs, more fancy dress social meetings can be arranged. You know, if you know Butler, you know everyone loves any excuse to get dressed up, and I feel like JCR meetings shouldn't be an exception to this. So throughout the year, on occasion, having various themed fancy dresses, whether this be a Christmas social JCR meeting, a black tie JCR meeting for the big elections, an Easter one perhaps. You know, we're getting more ideas at the time, but I feel that social aspect can be encouraged to increase involvement. Secondly, transparency. I feel that so for SU rep, I run a page which was set up last year to make announcements. A page for the JCR would be pretty useful, and more questions of officers should be encouraged. Finally, normality. So obviously this year we've had to be all online, and I think that we all miss in-person meetings. So as soon as it's safe and legal to do so, I will you know, move back to in-person meetings, which everyone misses. But what's key is that regardless of what the situation is, I'll prepare for any outcome and work with Democracy Committee so that given whatever the external situation is currently going down, the JCR will continue to run smoothly. That's all I have to say. I thank you all for listening, and I hope you consider me for the role of JCR Chair. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Joe. I'm just going to bring Camille back in. Close all rooms. All participants will be given 60 seconds. Shout when you're out, Camille.
Hi.
Are you out, Camille? You are out. Lovely. Okay. Do we have any questions for our JCR Chair candidates? Think of maybe things that I would ask, but I'm not allowed to ask.
Yeah.
Emily, do you want to go first? Just because she put her hand up quickly.
Sorry, Sam, more polite than you are. So in the past, JCR meetings tend to go on for a really long time until our new chair came in and made them more swift and effective and more fun. How would you guys both continue to make JCR elections more fun and short and swift like our current chair has?
Can we go to Camille, please?
Well, yeah, the decision to move a lot of the elections for sort of smaller level officers into committees internally is one I'd absolutely continue with. A lot of the sort of levity of meetings, I think, has come from the theming decisions. That's something I'd be very keen to continue. And also, although this might increase the length of a meeting or two, to increase the sort of the fun factor, I'd be keen on introducing one or two positions that are more sort of performative, something like in Collingwood. They have the keeper of the college oil can, who has to speak about squeaky beds being used for purposes other than sleeping. So sort of things to lighten the JCR mood, which would be a balancing act between not putting in too many irrelevant roles, but also letting people sort of express themselves a bit more creatively, a bit more performatively.
Could we go to Joe, please?
So yeah, I think in terms of time, I think it's, as you said, recently things have been getting better, and I think it's carrying on being strict with time and perhaps decrease the amount of time spent on certain areas, maybe motions and certain questions that don't need to spend so long discussing. And in terms of making them more fun, as you also asked, I think, as I was saying, ideas in terms of involvement, such as, having social JCR meeting combos, so that people are attending not just for a technical process, but also for actually an enjoyable evening. For people that might not perceive the JCR as being enjoyable, I'm not saying it's not, but to give it that sort of wider audience space would be, a pretty good way to go, I think.
Lovely. I'm going to go to Sam first. Did you want to say something, Sam?
I was going to ask a question, yeah.
Go on then. Yeah, go on.
Well, Emily stole mine, so I'm going to ask a different one. I think it's quite hard, but I'm going to ask it.
Well, just ask it.
During my 4 years at Josephine Butler College, I've never seen any matters arising. Why do you think this is?
Can I just do a point of information of that one?
Yeah, please.
A few meetings ago, we did actually have a matters arising, which was about independence. So,
but
Joe, you can answer that.
Well, firstly, I think it's a very vague term, because when you have questions of officers, then also motions, what does matters arising actually mean? I remember being a fresher, and it came up to matters arising, and I didn't actually know what that entailed. I think perhaps a clearer explanation of what matters arising are would be helpful. And also what I think could be quite good going forward, and this could be the same as questions for officers, before a meeting, I'm not sure if anything like this has currently happened, I might have just missed it, a form is sent out to the JCR asking if there are any questions of officers or matters arising that they'd like to ask about, because then perhaps people would actually think, oh, there is this matter which I wouldn't have bothered to think about anyway, but here's this easy form to type it in on. I'll do that instead. So I think one, it's more clarity is needed, and two, an easier process for these matters to be brought forward.
Okay, I think we've got that. Camille?
Yep, I absolutely agree with all of Joe's points, so I won't repeat them. To add to that, I think one thing we can do is to also send out an agenda. That's something that used to happen in previous years, sending out an agenda before the JCR meeting, so we know exactly what goes on and in what order. But I think largely this comes back to the issue of sort of low engagement and low awareness of exactly what JCR meetings are for. I think in very many JCR members' minds, we haven't established this idea as of JCR meetings as forums for debate and places where JCR members can effect change and question how things are run. So I'd like to lead by example by making sure we absolutely nail communication, especially for incoming freshers, and that we set a great precedent by even doing something mock in the freshers meeting. Even if it doesn't have real life consequences, as long as the process is showcased, it can continue to set a precedent for the rest of the year and beyond.
Brad, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. It's kind of been covered on a lot, but I think I'll add a little bit to it as well, just and kind of hear what you guys have to think about it like on its own. But it's been mentioned a lot about JCR meetings being fun and engaging, and to some extent accessible. Out of the two of you, have you got any specific ideas of how you could not only keep the same level of engagement but also increase it, and like how you would make sure that it's fun to be at a JCR meeting, it's engaging, and also I think importantly, especially now that they're online and there's a lot of problems with accessibility, have you got any ideas of how you could maybe do all three of those things, or what you would think could help with those?
Could we, for that one, just more briefly answer the accessibility part? Is that okay? I'm just going to go for Camille first.
Okay, well, on accessibility, the sort of the format of the JCR meeting matters a lot. Obviously, good progress has been made in making it short, and especially now when Zoom fatigue and staring at a screen for too long is such a pertinent problem, keeping them short and making sure people who are there in person don't have to sit through too long proceedings. But also for people who can't be there or don't want to, making sure we have quality archival. So first of all, recordings, which Zoom lends itself well to, as well as high quality minutes. If you just want a quick digest of proceedings, which is something that Democracy Committee has generally been good at, but I think there's scope to sort of improve the minutes and improve the how we record exactly what happens and exactly what people say at JCR meetings, and especially how we publish it in a digestible form that isn't intimidating for people to engage with and read.
Joe, give a bit about accessibility as well, please.
Yeah, so 2 quick points on that. The first of which I mentioned on my poster, where if we are able to go back to in-person meetings at any time from now until Easter term next year, I think keeping a good online option in place is very much important for accessibility for those who, for whatever reason, might not be able to come all the way from Butler College, which can be as far as a 40-minute walk for some. And obviously there is the live stream, but it's not easy to get involved in a live stream. So perhaps having a Zoom call, you know, I've had tutorials last term when they were in person where it would be like an open Zoom call, so they could ask questions and get involved from their remote location. And secondly, not mentioned on my poster, but something I'd be interested in looking into is that during assembly, the student union assembly, they have an accessibility break for like 10-15 minutes during the meeting, where anyone who needs to, for whatever reason, can take a break without actually missing any of the meeting's content. So I'll be interested in working with the Democracy Committee, speaking with the JCR, and looking into whether an accessibility break is something that'll be beneficial, because I think it may be, and I think it could help. Or it would stop putting some people off attending what can be, you know, a 2-hour meeting on some occasions.
Sorry. Can we go to Piers, please? Just for the last question.
Okay. When I was JCR Vice Chair, one issue that we faced a lot as Democracy Committee was issues of people breaking rules regarding endorsing through voting. So basically people going out and telling candidates to vote for a certain candidate, or kind of at other colleges, we have quite a strict system. Other colleges have quite relaxed systems in that, you know, they have Facebook profile photos, they have different online engagements, blah, 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 in order to kind of have a publicity kind of campaign. What is your opinion on that? Would you rather kind of keep the rules as they are? Would you rather relax them? What's your opinions?
Joe, please.
Well, I think we should separate my personal opinions and the opinions of the JCR Chair, because I think the role of the JCR Chair is to enforce the rules as they currently are. So even if you're against the idea of not being able to openly endorse a candidate, I think you should still you know, follow that through. You know, personally, I think it's actually the JCR has quite a robust democracy. I think it's quite sad that the democracy of Josephine Butler is stronger than the democracy of the United Kingdom, but that's another discussion. But I think, in terms of my own personal opinions, I think it's actually quite nice, you know, having an election based off of manifestos rather than personalities. I know to an extent, obviously, there'll always be a personality aspect to it, but I think the way we do it currently is fine. But I think the key point is that as JCR Chair, it's my job, or it would be my job, and the job of the Democracy Committee to follow the rules as we're told to. And if we want that to change, then, well, when we're finished with the role, then we can pass a motion to change it. I think that's what's key here.
Okay, Camille.
Yeah, again, on the topic of the rules as they stand, I think there's some scope to perhaps look at what we can do differently, especially now in the age of increased online participation, where, for example, in-person campaigning can't be done. But that's something that I would want to directly consult JCR members about. That's not something that I have the remit nor the will to change just myself based on my whims. In terms of enforcement, I think, again, comes back to my sort of key point of awareness and engagement. I think currently the way we publicize the rules could be improved. We could publicize them more, we could publicize them in more places to more people, and to foster a culture of, well, first of all, these are good for our democracy. There are reasons why we, for example, disallow public endorsements or social media posts, and to foster a culture of reporting, like, okay, you may be friends with someone, but if you see they've broken a rule, you're not ratting them out for no good reason. You are telling us that something has gone wrong, and they've broken a rule that is in there for an important reason, telling us that is the Democracy Committee, so that we can take proportional and appropriate measures in a timely fashion.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, both of you. Lovely. So that is going to be Camille versus Joe versus Ron for the election there. We'll go online. All of the minutes will be on the Duo page as well. So I think we're on the last one. Yeah, we're on the last one now, which is going to be Treasurer. I'm going to randomly choose Quentin to go first, just because I can see him first on my screen. Sean, I'm going to pop you into a breakout room if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Lovely. I'm just going to delete that. Oh, shit. Sorry. That's fine. Sean and Omar. Okay. Quentin?
Yep.
I'm just get the timer. Off you go.
Hi, so my name is Quentin. I'm a second year computer scientist, and as you may all be able to gather from that, I like maths, I like spreadsheets, and I like automation. I've been Vice Treasurer for the past few months, and I've really enjoyed getting involved in Finance Committee, and I'm really eager to get more involved in sort of like the inner workings of the JCR, both in finance and wider. Some of my ideas that I would implement if I were to be elected Treasurer is to increase sort of like the friendliness of finance, which sounds silly, but I think it's really important. So on top of sort of like drop-ins for societies, committees, sports teams, I'd also host drop-ins that are a bit more casual for individuals, maybe people that are just, freshers coming to university saying, I have no idea how to budget, please help me. And I think that's a really important thing to do. And with that sort of like increasing friendliness of finance as well, I think we really need to look at accessibility and look at the working class representation in Finance Committee and consider sort of like, okay, so we're coming to Durham, and Durham does have a bit of a culture of being, a bit posh. And, these events that we see our friends going to and we want to go to and we go to, it's not an easy decision for everyone. And I think what we really need to consider is how we can make those events more accessible, whether that's through fundraising in the JCR or by offering certain sort of subsidies for people from a low income background so that they can attend Winter Ball, Summer Ball, Spring Gala, whatever they want to go to, so that they get the full Durham, full Butler experience. I'd also really like to address the JCR levy, because it's something that not a lot of people know too much about. They know it helps the college, they know that they pay it and they get subsidies on certain events in college such as formals. But they don't really see, I don't think people understand the benefit that they get from paying it. So what I'd really like to do is sort of make a sort of document that we can put out to incoming freshers to say, okay, so you pay this amount in the JCR levy and this is how it pays off over those 3 years. And I really think that would increase the amount of people that would be willing to pay the JCR levy and see it as like a good investment, and then therefore support the college more. I'd also like to encourage more bank transfers rather than card payments, because obviously the transaction fees aren't great. So an idea I had for this is like, if we can have formals in person at some point, we could have sort of like a fast track queue for people that have already paid ahead of time. I think that would mean like a lot more people would, because then you can just go drink at the bar for a bit longer, which obviously we all want to do. And I think the final thing is to really consider as Finance Committee, so not just like, is our spending worth it, but is it ethical and sustainable? So like many people have hosted, like we need to look at what resources we already have, if they can be reused, choosing to shop locally rather than from Amazon and all of that tax avoidance stuff. And I think we really need to, look at finance as something else that can be made green along with our college values. Yeah, thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Quentin. I'm just gonna mess around with breakout rooms. So yeah, it looks like they're not going to press leave as well. So I might tell a story. Oh no, they're here. I'm just going to add you to a room, Quentin. There you go. Okay, Quentin, just click onto that. And Sean?
Yep, I'm
you
ready.
can start hosting now.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Sean. I study PPE like Joe, and I'm in my second year. I'm also a Malaysian, and I'm your international officer this year because like my house is quite long, so I'll dive straight in. I think the first thing I do is to browse through my poster quickly. So the first value that, like there are a few core values when I'm writing my poster. So the first one is to ask whether it is worth for members who have paid their JCR levy, whether it's worth their money. So therefore, like maximizing the benefit and minimizing the spending, and then whether it's fair and efficient spread of money between different committees and societies and groups. And then the third being like promoting development of college through my role of treasurer. So like asking people to apply for trust funds for bigger projects or using their funds for things that would benefit the college in general, and supporting the FESCO supporting groups if they have any question regarding how to budget, how to use their money, whether they are in short of money. And the fifth one, transparency. So like continue what Dusty has done and Dusty and Lewis have done, like producing a Sunday report. But what I really want to talk to you in this thing is what I would push for as a treasurer if I'm elected is to ask the JCR to spend more money instead of using a conservative approach, because I really think that it is a little unfair for students who have paid their for members this year who have paid their JCR but not receive the whole benefit that would theoretically have if there's no COVID. So like what I would do is like estimate how much loss of benefit has been in this year. So we can set an amount for, set aside a budget for compensating students who lost their benefit. So this could be anything from creating like a bigger halfway formula, perhaps. So halfway formulas are usually targeted at second year students. So like it will be this year's freshers who did not receive the whole benefit like to the fullest extent. So like we can compensate by having like a bigger and more fun halfway formula, or just lower the price for one of the socials for current members brought forward to next year. And that also invest in facilities, or more like invest in facilities in TechCom, or organize more trips. That could also be done. How much time do I have left? Okay, I think this is probably everything. I will end short.
Okay.
Yep.
That's okay. Just stop the timer and we'll bring back in Quentin. Darcy, did you have a point of information?
Yeah, I did. Just to quickly say that the reason our spending's been conservative this year is because of the vote to go independent. It was a advice from the DSO Supervisory Board.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Darcy. Thank you. Is Quentin back in the main room?
Yeah, hi, I'm here.
Lovely, brilliant. Does anybody have any questions for the two candidates? Oh, actually, yeah, I've got one from Lewis. I just remembered. I'm so sorry. I'll just do the one from Lewis first. It's difficult to know what will be going on with COVID in September. What will you do to make sure you've budgeted for every possible scenario? Can I go to Quentin first?
Yeah, I think we just need to sort of take the same sort of approach we have done this year with COVID and independence, and not try to So while we need to plan in advance to make sure we have enough resources to do what we want to do, say like we can't do a winter ball, okay, we'll move that money forward to a potential summer ball. We need to not, put all our eggs in one basket and go like, oh yeah, we're free from COVID, we can have this massive event, let's put all of our money into it. We need to be very responsible with our spending and very kind of conservative to start off with, just to make sure we can, maintain the sort of level we need to potentially go independent. And also if there is, touch wood, there's not another COVID wave, we need to be ready for it.
Okay, thank you, Quentin. To Sean, please.
I think this question is quite independent on how much we spend, but like how we spend. So if like there's no COVID, we can spend things more on like the social side. If there is COVID, then we can spend it more on investing on more better equipments, like better TV, like better technology for like tech comms, better lightings, or decorations, those kind of things that are not directly into the social events like balls, trips, those kind of things. So like two approaches, depending on the circumstances.
Okay, thank you to both of you. Does anybody else have a question? Darcy?
A lot of your role will be talking to presidents, chairs, people that, everyone that runs sports and societies about subs and things like that. So I just wondered if you had any ideas for good communication.
To Sean, please.
Yeah, I mentioned in my poster that I will have a weekly drop-in. So I will encourage people, if they have any problems regarding finance that need support, they can just come to me. Even like I can also approach them if people are like be more sensitive to different groups. So like maybe drop by a different society or committee every week and join their meeting, and so I will have a better knowledge of how their committee is going, and
okay,
I can support it.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Quentin.
So I think it'd be really important to make use of like Facebook groups, maybe a Teams group, just to make sure, all of the society presidents, sports leaders, like everyone that needs to be in that group is in that group, and it's, a space where they can say, oh, I have a question about this, I need to know about this, when's this due in, where do you want this budget by, etc. Also just like making sure I'm like really accessible, like obviously COVID dependent. I'd ideally love to just be a friendly face around college that anyone can approach at any time, but obviously that may not be possible. So, I then need to sort of work on like more of an online presence, make sure, I have people on Facebook so they can drop me a message anytime they need, and really just be, accessible, friendly, and just there for people to ask questions to, I guess.
Lovely, thank you. Victoria, do you have a question?
Yes, actually, I was having two, but then, I actually have two, but it's kind of similar.
Is it okay if you just do one? Is it okay if you just do one?
Sure.
Thank you.
So basically, as the Greencom officer, I'm curious, as Quentin also brought up in his own speech that finance committee also needs to, like finance officer treasurer, I don't know what's happened to my tongue today, sorry. Treasurer also needs to pay attention to more the ethical aspect of our financial spending. So I didn't hear much about the exact methodology that the treasurers want to adopt to improve ethical spending or more green spending. Like, is it about if the budget application is not green enough, are you going to reject it, or are you going to advise it to be more green? Are you going to be giving any advice, or like how exactly are you going to do it?
Is that clear for both of you? Yeah, Quentin?
Okay, thanks.
So I think, so I'm part of finance committee at the minute, and when we get a budget through and they're asking for a certain resource, let's say for the sake of argument, they're asking for hockey sticks, but we know they already have hockey sticks. We know that there's some hockey sticks already available, so that there's no point in us buying new hockey sticks. It's just going to be that same sort of situation, but maybe a bit more. It's just, considering what we have, considering what it can be used for, not necessarily rejecting budget applications, but sending back recommendations, maybe asking them to reapply with a better a better suggestion. Like, say if they're sourcing a lot of stuff from, I don't know, they're trying to source a lot of stuff from overseas, but we've noticed after a quick Google search that they don't have to get it from overseas, which would obviously lower the carbon footprint of that particular order. And then we can send it back to them, recommend that they get these instead, and then they can send it back to us and we'll approve it and it'll be all good.
Sean?
I think there are two approaches. The first thing, so this year we have included is it social, no, not social, of the working student officer or something to sit in finance com. So we can also include green com presidents into it. The second being, we can set a general questions of what we should ask ourselves before approving a budget. So like the first can be, is it fair for all students? The second being, is it ethical? The third being, is it, yeah, so like a set of procedures that we should ask ourselves before approving any or voting in any finances.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions from the room? Because I do have one from Lewis that can be a really quick one-word answer. Lewis asks, just to finish off all this meeting, I'll go to Sean first. What's your favourite currency?
I think I will go with Malaysian ringgit.
I literally knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say after our wheel question. Quentin, what's your favourite currency?
I'm gonna say the Canadian dollar because I'm not sure how true this is, but apparently when you scratch the note, it smells like maple syrup.
Doesn't sound very true. But thank you very much to both of you, and thank you to everyone for attending. That election is going to be Quentin versus Sean versus Ron. These will all be on Duo, hopefully, if it works, at 9 AM tomorrow. We have had some issues with getting them up on Duo just because it like refreshes weirdly, but I don't know why. Next meeting, it's going to be a big boy meeting, so please can everybody still come to that. We've got president in the next meeting. Don't know who's running for it. There might be a few people, God knows. But the most exciting thing that's going to happen next meeting is the theme. I'm just going to give a bit of a hint of what the theme is. It's circular. So we'll see. We'll see what it's going to be.
You're not doing the wheel.
We'll see what it's going to be. Thank you very much for everyone's coming. And I'll see you all very soon, and make sure to vote tomorrow.
Thank
Hurrah.
you, Jake.
Thanks. I just
Cheers,
stopped
Jake.
recording.
Bye, Jake.